Hello there YouTube, how are ya? George here, EI7 Kilo Oscar. And been watching a few Toolbox tour videos of late, so I just said I'd have a run through the toolbox I have here and show you what I have so far. So that's one of my toolboxes. I made this about, must be about 11 or 12 years ago now at this stage. And I never got round to finishing it off, so I am planning to do something with it. I have that toolbox, and I have that that's a Tang toolbox down there. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a bigger section across the bottom here that'll have two big drawers either end and a couple of smaller ones in between, and that'll do a lot of the box set stuff that I have. I've a lot of stuff in cases, so the plan is to get that sorted out. What I'll do then is I'll make another smaller section that will go here with like 3 or 4 drawers in it, or maybe 3 big ones, deep ones, and then that lad will sit on top, and I'll have to relocate it down into that corner down there because it's going to be 6 foot long rather than the length it is now, which is just over 3.5 feet. Anyway, I made the mistake of, when I made this, I made all the drawers out of MDF, and because it gets a bit damp out here in the winter, you can see that it's sagged. Well, particularly that one, because it's got the most weight in it. So in the top drawer I have my socket sets. I have some miscellaneous plug sockets there, and I have a set of 1/4 inch Torx there. Up to now I haven't really had the need for Torx stuff, because none of the cars I had any of them on it, even the Beamer, but the Merc has quite a few on it, so I need to get myself a set of 1/2 inch at the next available opportunity. So these 2 sets I have here, this was the one thing I was laughing at with these videos I was watching. A lot of these videos, they were almost like bloody advertisements for Snap-on. You know, if you're a weekend warrior, you know, you don't need Snap-on tools. These 2 sets here are Draper Expert. So you have 1/2 inch, 5/8 and 1/4 inch. And I bought these 2 sets in 1996. And I've never had any issue with any of them. They'll open anything I've ever went near with them. I favour the 1/2 inch stuff over the 5/8. I don't like 5/8 because I find the ratchet's too small, and you can't get enough of torque on it, I don't think. So I much prefer the 1/2 inch stuff. So I will probably buy at some point now. I have my eye on another 1/2 inch ratchet, and it's probably about this long, and it's got the flex head on it as well. So the usual, you have what size does this go from now? Yeah, so it's from 12mm to 32mm, and that will pretty much cover you anything you're going to do on your car. And then in the 1/4 inch it goes from, or sorry, the 5/8, it goes from 6mm to 17. So you know, that'll do you for light stuff. Have all your extension bars, 10 inch extension, 6 inch extension, 4 inch. There's a universal joint in there somewhere as well, down there. They're a very handy little thing to have. This little set here, the little 1/4 inch set, I've kept this dog's abuse, and it's well able to take it. Nice little sockets. As I said to you, I bought these in 1996, and still perfect, you know. But I always clean my tools when I'm finished with them, and give them a little spray down with some WD-40 just to, you know, keep them right in the box till I get back to them the next time. So that's the socket drawer. Next drawer then, these here. Also bought this set in 1996. I bought the sockets and these off the same guy. Now there's a couple of them missing, and they're ones that broke. You can see that one there. It's actually, now we turn around, the camera will focus there. It's actually twisted. So I need to replace the few of them that are damaged and missing and whatnot. So a good little set though. I've given it fairly heavy use, and it's done the job. So impact driver, it's only a cheap one, or is it a Draper one? No, it's only a cheap one, and that comes with all the bits as well, and you can take that lad off and put a 1/2-inch socket on the end of it, and if you have something that's hard to open, you can use that. But I don't really use it that much, because my favourite weapon of choice is the breaker bar. That one's about 3 foot long, and I bought that off a pikey at the market 20 years ago, and it opens anything I want to open. Set of pry bars, they came out of Lidl or Aldi, one or the other. There's 3 or 4 different sizes there, and they do exactly what you want them to do. A couple of box spanners in there. I bought that one for a car I had one time to, oh, the one at the back actually, that was, if I can get it out. That's the thing with this box now. When I change it, I'm going to put full extension drawer runners on it. The one in at the back there, I bought that years and years ago. I had a Rover 75, and wheel bearing went in it, and I needed to buy that to get the wheel bearing out, but I have a couple of other ones that I use fairly infrequently. So a couple other torque wrench in at the back there underneath the pry bar. It's only a cheap Clark one, nothing elaborate. Next drawer then, screwdrivers. So just the same few I use all the time. This one, I have a set of them, use them a lot. A few other bits and pieces in there, but I tend to use the same few all the time. Oh, there's the deadly little one. That one takes the standard type little bits. You can put any of them into it, and it's got a torque scale on it. You can set it to tighten them up to whatever torque you require if you're working on something small. Another little set of bits there that came out of I think that came out of Aldi, and works quite well. Got all the security torques and all the oddball ones in it there. So wasn't dear, around a tenner I think. You know, that's something about, you're at this game and messing around with cars at the weekend. The stuff out of Lidl and Aldi is very good. I have quite a bit of it here. Next drawer then, drill bits, steel, spade, masonry and wood. There's another little gadget I got. I have that quite a while. Very, very handy. It's a right angle adapter for you want to get into a tight spot with a screwdriver. Deadly little thing. So you put that end in the drill, and then you go in where you need to go, and you can drive the screw at 90 degrees to the direction of the drill. Outside of that, in that drawer, 90-degree adapter chuck for the drill, which is handy. I've only used that a handful of times. I have it about 10 years, I guess. I'd say if I've used it 4 or 5 times, but when I have had to use it, it's been the ideal tool for the job. Oh, spanner drawer. These ones here I bought off the same pikey. I bought the breaker bar off, and I have these over 20 years, and I've not broken any of them. None of them have bent, none of them have deformed, anything like that. The only one missing is the 13. I don't know where it went, or did somebody steal it or whatever, but all the rest of them are still like the day I got them. They're Snap Mac. They're like a rip-off of Snap-on, and they're quite good, you know. They do me perfectly well anyway. 2 sets then of combination spanners with ratcheting ends. Work Zone. They're little, I think. One set has the fixed end, and the other set then has the articulated end. About a tenner a set. Have them a long time. Done a good bit of work with them, and they've never let me down. Few adjustables there. Let's see, pliers, snips, side cutters, vice grips, Allen keys, Torx, and that's just a box then of miscellaneous Allen keys that I just keep, because sometimes you might want to do something where you might be going to attack it with a hammer or get extremely violent. A couple of pullers there as well. Last drawer, I have some wire brushes for the drill. My compression tester is there. Rivet gun. There's normally another couple of scrapers in there, but I'm using them inside. Staple gun. A big roller. It's a handy thing for when you're doing stuff in the house now more than cars. Staple gun. Great thing to have. Very, very handy. Me chalk line. Bought that when I was building the shed. Haven't used it since. Down underneath then, brake rewind set. Oh, lovely. That's why I want to put drawers in the bottom of it. A set of T-handle Torx and Allens from Lidl or Aldi, one or other. 2 sets of jack stands from Lidl or Aldi. And then I have this basket. This is full of miscellaneous spanners. There's some Imperial and metric stuff in there. There's some swan neck spanners. Well, that's what I call them. Very handy these if access is kind of awkward. I don't have a full set, but I must gather up a full set, if you know what I mean. Coil spring compressors. What's in this? This is full of sockets then. These are all sockets that I have from, like, you know, down through the years, different sets, and then you kind of lost them and whatnot. Some of them are metric, some of them are Imperial. That's a homemade slide hammer I made when I was learning to be a tool maker, and a few other bits and pieces in there. Nothing of any great importance, but I don't throw things out, you know, because you never know when you're going to need them. That compressor came out of Aldi. Excuse me. I have it about, I had that about 14 years, I think. And it's still perfect. I just have the old airline made out of an old Susie off a truck. And that's very handy. It reaches all around the shed from there. These coil-up ones are the greatest gimmick ever. Into the other toolbox then. Selection of whacking implements. On the top, hammers. I made that one. Again, when I was learning to be a tool maker. They're spare faces. My old Zippo. My father-in-law bought me that. God be good to him. Test probe. Air pressure gauge. A few end mills. Them cheap old Stanley sets you get. Normally keep me Stanley knives in there, but there's none of them at the moment. They're all me measuring stuff. Micrometers, telescoping gauges, my dial gauge, digital verniers, some stud extractors there. Very handy for when you shear the head off a bolt and there's only a little bit of it left. You can drill into it and tap one of them lads in, and they have a left hand thread, so as you tighten it in it'll pull it out. Feeler gauges, very old school. It's probably seized up now. Let me see. Yeah, very old school tire pressure gauge, but extremely accurate. That was me dad's scriber there. I nicked that scriber out of the secondary school when I was in it. That's how long I have it. It was probably about 14 or 15, I'd say. Chisels, strap gauges, magnetic doodads, inspection mirrors, cope and saw frame, junior hacksaw frame, bottom drawer then, tap and die sets, and RJ45 crimper. A few files there in that lad. I've a load of different files. That's the thing, that a fella came to my dad's shop one day. He was repairing a machine, and I was only a young lad and I was admiring this thing. He had all his files in it and he gave it to me. Just a bit of box section, 2-inch box section stainless with a cap on the end. And that's pretty much all the tools I have. I probably have other stuff that I'm not thinking about. Bench grinder, I came out of Lidl, I think. My Dremel, that's one of the most important tools you can ever have in your workshop. You can do literally 1,000 different things with that, and well worth investing in one of those. Get the electric one, don't get the cordless one. It's got a lot more grunt. A few other bits and pieces knocking about there. Magnetic rails. Not a great idea, the magnetic rails, I have to say. If they're tools you're fond of, don't put them on a magnetic rail, because everything will stick to the damn things. They'll be magnetised. Other than that, that's pretty much about the size of it. And the one other thing I was laughing at, I was watching this one video by this particular individual, and he was showing you how to take your ratchet apart and clean it and lubricate it. What a load of bollocks. Unless you're using them all day, every day, 365, then they need it. But if you're messing about with cars the odd weekend here and there, I have them 20 years, I've never cleaned them or lubed them, and they're still fine. So there you go, that's my toolbox for now, but it is going to change. So hopefully you enjoyed that little tour of the tools I have here anyway. And of course some might say the biggest tool in my shed is me, but there you go. So 73, and thanks for watching, and we'll get you in the next one. This is George, EI7 Kilo Oscar. Bye bye.